All right, so my talk is I'm Michael. My talk's based on a hypothesis. It's not a good hypothesis. It's not scientific. It's not falsifiable. It's not really testable. But it is World War II has a lot to teach us about software development. So let's investigate. So the obvious overlap between software and warfare is security. Right. We'll start off talking about the Battle of France. So French plan, if the Germans ever attacked, which of course they did, was to build a bunch of defenses along this Maginot Line. Think concrete, think pillboxes, think bunkers. And the idea wasn't to stop the Germans, but to slow them long enough that France could raise an army and stop the Germans with that. Now, that worked, except there's a slight problem because it stopped here. Now, that seemed to be fine, right? Because this area, it's hills, it's dense forest. You can't roll your tanks through that. Well, the Germans disagreed. They rolled the tanks through that. They surrounded the French army. They confused them. They won the Battle of France. What do we learn from this? Well, if you're at Herb's keynote speech, you don't learn anything because he told us the system is only as secure as its weakest critical piece. Next lesson, how do you do security properly? Defense in depth. So, Battle of Kursk. Here, the Germans in the west attacking the Soviets. The Soviets prepared defenses. They prepared trenches, anti-tank ditches. They prepared mines, more trenches. So if the first layer of defense failed, there would be the second layer. And if that failed, there'd be a third layer. The Soviets won that battle. Defense in depth is good. What that means for us is don't just ring fence, have some security on the inside of your system as well. Right. FDR, he was president of America. He died in 1945 when he had 12 years of experience in that role, leading America through some of the worst times since the Civil War. Now, the Americans had a good system in place. When the president dies, you replace him with the vice president. Unfortunately, it was this guy. He had 4 months' experience in that role. So he had to be briefed on things like the Manhattan Project. He had no idea that existed. By the way, we've got a nuclear bomb. That's what that means. So 5 months into his new job, he was dropping those bombs on Japan. So if you ever thought the responsibility in your new role piled on quickly, at least you weren't Truman. What we learn here is prepare for this scenario. I could tell you about this in my own line of work, but that would be out of scope. I never worked in World War II. Right, lots of armies got encircled in World War II, usually because the leadership didn't want to retreat. Usually it was Hitler. It's probably in my top 50 criticisms of the man. Don't overextend yourself in your sprints, in your epics. Avoid feature creep, mission creep in warfare, but feature creep for us. Maybe have an adjustable scope, get the MVP in place, and then if you've got spare engineering time, carry on from that. And avoid bloat. What do I mean by bloat? Well, this is a bloated Germany that management ordered. I think we all prefer the minimum viable product. Right, Lend-Lease. The Allies had all different strengths. The Soviets had lots of men. Women fought them as well. The British had good signals intelligence. The Americans had loads and loads of ships and tanks and planes and boring logistical stuff that they gave to the Allies. So what do we learn from this? Well, one takeaway is to have a diverse team of people who bring lots of different things to the table. In my opinion, this is not the chief takeaway. The chief takeaway is employ American capital. Finally, right, Major Digby Tatham Water, he took his umbrella into battle to avoid friendly fire, see, because only a bloody fool of an Englishman would bring an umbrella into battle. So, but it actually came in useful. He disabled a German armored car because he poked his umbrella through the visor, poked a German in the eye with it. What's our lesson from this? Well, sometimes there is no analogy. Although I've got 45 seconds, so if somebody can think of one, thank you.